Welcome to episode 115 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC Perth, Reyes versus Ulberg. Nothing really on the boxing end. We're not going to waste anybody else's time. Before we get into any of that, my brother, please tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have Jonathan Micallef going one-on-one with Oban Elliott. Micallef, 8-1 overall. Fighting out Australia, hailing from Australia, 26 years old. Elliott, 12-3 overall. Fighting out of Wales, hailing from Wales, 27 years old. On one end, we got Oban Elliott, the Welsh gangster, coming off a disappointing performance in his last fight against Coe. And on the other end, we got Micallef here, the captain, coming off of a pretty decent performance against Josias. I'm going to be picking Micallef here. And that might be a little surprising, you know, going dog, straight off the bat, straight off rip. But I think it's going to be a couple of things here. Oban Elliott, I think, is going to struggle against Micallef's physicality here. I think Oban Elliott's going to be fighting off his back foot for the most part in this fight. He does have the grappling edge here, technically, but I don't think Micallef is terrible on the ground. I think he's actually very capable. And between the two gentlemen here, I trust Micallef's chin a little more. I trust Micallef's power a little more. And I think Micallef works better in range. If he's able to get those kicks off the same way he did against Josias, I think Elliott's going to be in for a long one. Elliott might have the better boxing here. He might be the faster individual as well. I don't trust the guy. And just eye test alone, I think Micallef is the side here. I think either way, it's probably decision, but Micallef is going to be my pick.
Yeah, this fight's interesting, and what's even more interesting are the dimensions that are listed for both of these gentlemen. They're both listed at 6 feet tall. I don't believe that. I want to see them face off. I think Micallef is much bigger than this guy, and if they are both 6 feet tall, then he has the longest legs and the longest arms I've ever seen, and the smallest torso, all compact into one person. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, from what I've seen, he looks extremely tall for this weight class. Oban's big, but this dude is bigger for the weight class. Pause. So for me, I'm gonna go with my brother here on Micallef. I think a lot of this card, ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised if we make no bets this weekend. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Don't want to force anything here. This is a card that's going to be a lot of value plays and dog or pass, and we're going to start right off rip with this first fight. I'm on my brother's side here with Micallef. I think he's going to do better work in the clinch. I think he has tricky sweeps and takedowns. I think he can handle himself on the floor, and I agree with my brother here. I think he knows how to use his long-range weapons very well, particularly his kicks, and he can throw them all fight. So for me, give me Micallef here, dog or pass. Let's start with the dog. Micallef is the lean here.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Andre Petroski going one-on-one with the battle giraffe, Cam Rowston. Petroski is 13-4 overall. Fighting out of Pennsylvania, 34 years old. Rowston is 12-3 overall. Fighting out of Australia, repping Australia, 30 years old. An interesting fight for a couple of reasons. I'll start on the Cam side. This guy is coming off a very quick turnaround. He just fought maybe like a couple weeks ago on Dana White's Contender Series. Looked decent. I think he's probably going to have the striking edge here. I don't like his striking in particular, but I think he has more tools. Nothing against Petroski. Petroski's competent in the striking. I think Petroski hits hard, but I think once he gets a little taste of whatever Cam is throwing at him, he's going to go straight to the wrestling. Petroski's advantage is in the grappling here, in my opinion. Rowston has struggled historically, if you look down his record, against guys who can grapple him. If Petroski goes that route, I think he can win. I am going to be picking Petroski here tentatively. It does say a lot that they're throwing Cam into the fire here against a guy who has a decent amount of UFC experience. And at the same time, Petroski really hasn't looked that hot lately. And at the same time, probably should take this as a little bit of disrespect. Give me Petroski here, but low confidence. I wouldn't be surprised if Cam lamps him as well. But Petroski is going to be my pick.
Yeah, he calls himself the battle giraffe, and I'm not sure why, because I'm not sure how his fight style can be equated to anything as majestic as a giraffe. He fights like a giraffe. He keeps his chin straight up. That's probably the only fucking reference I can make in terms of a similarity between the two, right? His nickname and his actual fight style. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not very high on Andre Petroski. We haven't been high on Andre Petroski in this podcast.
Yep.
We picked him to beat up Dylan Booker, whatever the fuck his name is. That guy's ass, by the way.
And that's what gives me pause. I'm with you because he made that a fight, and that should have not have been a fight.
He won by unanimous decision, but bro, it could have went to split. Yeah. Like you could make an argument for butt kiss in that fight,
and that's not a good
sad
thing. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Knocked himself out off of Jacob Malkoun's hip.
Yep.
I mean, this is a fight you should stay away from.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
Not impressed at all. Both these boys are not impressive. This is a low tier fight. They should finish, but they're probably not because they both are super low IQ in my opinion. Petroski's got to hope to get this to the floor. Rowston could probably lamp him on the feet, but Petroski doesn't finish as much of the floor as you think he does, and Rowston is going against an extra durable guy, so I don't know. To be frank, outside of Malkoun's hip, by the way. Yeah. Durable against everything. All forces shall prevail except for Jacob Malkoun's hip. It took me out.
Hips don't lie, man.
Hips don't lie. You know? I'm going to go Petroski here. He's a slight favorite, but man, not with a high degree of confidence. I think it's a fight you should stay away from, ladies and gentlemen. Petroski, but I feel and sound nasty saying that, ladies and gentlemen.
Next fight on the card at men's heavyweight, we have Brando Peričić going one-on-one with Elisha Ellison. Brando is 4-1 overall, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 31 years old. Ellison is 5-1 overall, fighting out of Enumclaw, Washington, 28 years old. I don't know why this fight's on the card in particular. We got two guys who are debuting at heavyweight. I'm going to be leaning Brando here, the Baltic Bear, to beat the Snack Panther. Both dog shit nicknames, but you know what?
Horrible.
You take what you can give, right? I'm going to be leaning Brando here just purely based off the fact that I think he has more fight experience. He's going to be the bigger, larger man in here. On paper, Ellison does have an advantage with the grappling, with wrestling, but Ellison's a part-time cop who kind of does this, you know, he moonlights as a fighter, where Brando has been fighting forever. And don't let the record fool you. This guy has a lot of, not on Tapology, but a lot of undocumented fights that, you know, just go to his page.
Kickboxing, preferably.
A lot of kickboxing. I think he's going to beat him up in the clinch. I don't know how much success Ellison is going to have taking him down. Give me Brando here. Either way, I don't think this fight goes the distance. Somebody's going to get finished, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. The only reason this fight gives me any pause in completely siding with Brando is because of the wrestling. Ellison can wrestle to an extent, is explosive in his takedowns. The only thing and the only reason I'm going to go for Brando in this fight is because Ellison's very good at being a hammer and not very good at being a nail. The minute he meets resistance, he seems to just crumble, to be frank with you, at least from the fight footage from what I saw. That one fight that he lost, was bad. It was a bad look. Like, he was like, yo, I want out. Like, you could tell he wanted out. So when you're moonlighting as a fighter, it's tough sledding when you're going against a guy that's committed to this shit, to be frank. And I think Brando is committed to this shit. So I'm going to lean Brando. He's going to have the clear striking advantage, but man, not with a high degree of confidence. Don't know if I'm going to get there with betting him, but he's assuredly to lean for the podcast's sake.
The next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Jamie Mullarkey going one-on-one with Rolando Bedoya. Mullarkey is 17-8 overall, fighting out of New South Wales, 31 years old. Bedoya is 14-4 overall, fighting out of Peru, repping Peru, 28 years old. Now, initially, when I seen this fight on paper, instant reaction was kind of like, maybe Bedoya, maybe. But then I really started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm disrespecting Jamie Mullarkey a little bit here. The guy, in my opinion, is the better fighter.
Absolutely.
He's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the guy who I trust to go to the grappling more. He's the guy who I trust to have a game plan. The guy who I trust to be a little more careful in there. The only thing I don't trust on Mullarkey is his chin.
Yeah.
Bedoya on the other end, I mean, he's from Peru. He's got striking. He's a decent striker. But I mean, a bit of a punching bag, to be honest. No kind of striking defense. Doesn't really go to the grappling. I mean, he attempts grappling. Hasn't successfully been able to take anyone down as of yet.
Good get-up game, though, I will say.
very good get-up game. He is moving down. This is his second fight at 155, but I think I got to go with Mullarkey here. I think as long as Mullarkey just stays safe and, you know, avoids getting laced by Bedoya, I think this is his fight to lose. I'm going to go Mullarkey by decision, only because Bedoya is just a tough out, and the guy's durable as all shit, zombie chin. Mullarkey's the pick. That's how I'm going to be rolling with this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on the pick, but for some reason, something in my testicles, it says Bedoya's going to lamp this dude. And the reason being is because he is going to walk forward and put pressure on Mullarkey. And Mullarkey is not Jai Herbert off his back foot. He's not Kenan Song off his back foot. He's also not Chaos Williams off his back foot. He's better than Chaos Williams. So he's somewhere in between Chaos and the last two opponents, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mullarkey. That's how I look at him. And obviously Kenan Song and is at a different weight class. So we want to completely put that in reference here.
Yeah.
But if he's not getting knocked out by someone like Chaos Williams, who cracks at the weight class, and Kenan Song, who has a very good left hook that drops Ian Gary, I feel like you really have to convince me if Mullarkey is going to be able to keep this guy off of him. And I think that's going to be the telling tale here. This fight is lined at a pick'em. It's a reason it's lined at a pick'em. I'm going to lean Mullarkey, but man, don't be surprised if come fight time, I just go with Bedoya. Like, that's how I'm feeling about this fight, because for some reason, I feel like Bedoya is going to be able to have his way in certain instances in the space. I think he's going to be able to crash the space and just throw big bombs in volume. And Mullarkey is not exactly prolific with his head movement. So
yeah, I am worried about if there's some kind of crazy exchange. Like, I mean, Bedoya's chin obviously is going to get the advantage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it. For podcast sake, I'm on Bedoya. Why not? You know, we'll be on the opposites here. I think Bedoya is going to figure it out. I think Bedoya is younger. Jamie's a little shop worn, even at 30 years old, to be frank. I just, man, and tough sledding for him. He takes only tough fights, low key. So
he does.
Shout out to him. But this is another one where I feel like stylistically, like Bedoya is going to put him in some interesting positions. Even though I trust Mullarkey's process better, I think Bedoya's get-up game is going to be a little bit problematic for Mullarkey and the stretch of this fight. So give me Bedoya. Not with a high degree of confidence, but Bedoya is definitely.
Next fight on the card at women's bantamweight, we have Luana Carolina going one-on-one with the debuting Michelle Montague. Carolina is 11-4 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 32 years old. Montague is perfect, 6-0, fighting out of New Zealand, repping New Zealand, 31 years old. This one is a question mark when it comes to, like, I'm curious how the matchmaking took place on this one, because Luana has never really fought at 135, at least not in the UFC level. She's moving up. The debuting Montague, coming in from the PFL, also training partners with Kayla Harrison. Historically, he has fought at 155, 145. This is a big woman coming down to 135.
With the wrestling edge, ladies and gentlemen.
100%. Now, I love Carolina. I'm going to put it out there. I think when it comes to the striking in particular for this particular matchup, she has the advantage.
And the speed.
And she's going to have the speed, especially moving up. Montague's striking is, something... There's something lacking there. Like she's got it, but she don't really got it. You know what I'm saying?
It's not something to behold.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to frame that. But like my brother mentioned, Montague does have the advantage in the grappling. And usually for women's MMA, it's like, oh, it's maybe just jiu-jitsu or maybe just wrestling. No, she's got both. And she is very good. And she is very proficient at the rear naked choke in particular. You say, well, she's coming from the PFL / Bellator, / the co-leader, whatever you want to call it, right? Who has she really fought? And, to a certain extent, I get that argument, right? But what do you do with cans, right? You put them on the shelf. And she's been properly putting cans on the shelf. She has been making very quick work of these women. I do worry about the size here. I'm going to be picking Montague to win, and to win by rear naked choke like she has, because not that I don't have faith in Carolina's grappling, but I think this is just a level that she just hasn't seen. And she's moving up a weight class. It's going to be tough sledding for Luana, in my opinion. So Michelle's the lean. Michelle's the pick. Michelle via finish, via rear naked. I think she's going to make a decent debut here.
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in this play, guys, to be frank. And I'm going to put it on the table. Usually we're like kind of taught not to do that, but I feel pretty confident in this. She's going to have the size advantage. She's going to have the wrestling advantage. There's a girl in Luana who got tossed in like the second or third round by Lucy Pudilova, who historically doesn't have good gas. Carolina doesn't have a lot of finishing ability. Got finished by Molly McCann. Yes, Meatball McCann, McCann.
That was like, that's McCann's highlight.
Of her career.
Yeah.
Like of her life. She's never going to have anything greater than that.
It was a sick-ass KO.
It was filthy.
It was crazy.
It was filthy. Like Carolina was like, all that was missing in that picture on her on the floor was the white chalk. That was all that was missing.
The outline, yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. Like I thought they're going to have to bring the stretcher in.
It was pretty rough.
For me, this is Montague's fight to lose, man. And I just feel like with the wrestling and the size and the grappling edge, man, I think she might get out of there first round. I expect this to be a submission. I think Luana hasn't seen a level like this, to my brother's point. And once again, you guys may say, okay, she's coming from the PFL. When have we lied to you about fighters, guys? Coming over from Bellato and the PFL. We told you to fade Kevin Holland against MVP. You laughed at us. The motherfucker was sitting at like plus 150.
They laughed at us.
Guess who put 3 units on that fucking motherfucker? Us.
That's right.
Us, bitch.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't fucking question it. That's all I'm telling you. We know we're watching.
Sometimes.
Yes. This is the PFL.
We try.
We get it. We get it. Yeah. But guess what? There's levels. And when you have an eye for the sport and you understand what you're seeing, the back-taking ability, the speed at which they do it, their instinctual reactions to them getting mat returned and popping back up, and how they approach the back as well as how quickly they're able to lock in a submission. I say Montague, she looks like she's done her 10,000 hours from the rear naked back choke series. So guess what? Montague by rear naked choke. That's what the official pick for this podcast. Book it.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have Colby Thicknesse, Ayo, going one-on-one with Josias Musasa, aka the KO Wizard. Thicknesse is 7-1 overall, fighting out of Australia, repping Australia, 26 years old. Musasa is 8-1 overall, fighting out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, repping the Democratic Republic of Congo, 26 years old. This is an interesting fight that I'm kind of flip-flopping on. On one end, we got Musasa here, who's an explosive striker. Maybe not the most technical striker, but definitely has power. He's athletic. He's got strong hips, hard to take down, kind of gets up with, get up jitsu. But I think if you put him on his back, I think he will struggle a bit. And on the other end here, we got Thicknesse, who made a short notice debut and kind of got worked from pillar to post. The opponent level was a little different when you compare it to Musasa. Thicknesse was fighting Toporia's brother. Musasa was fighting Carlos Vera. Not to discredit Musasa too much, because Musasa was kind of winning that fight and kind of just doing whatever he wanted. With Vera, he kind of just got caught with a head kick and then immediately just, mounted and rear naked.
Yeah.
Put him out. Thicknesse, despite being outclassed a bit by Topuria, didn't look all that terrible. You can tell he definitely has jiu-jitsu, and that's his game. The striking is definitely kind of lackluster. So when it comes to this particular fight, I think Musasa has the advantage here, at least in the striking department. If this fight hits the ground, Thicknesse, who also is a training partner of Volkanovski, I think he definitely has the edge here on the ground. I don't know how, I can't envision who's going to lead the dance here in this fight. I'm going to lean Thicknesse, grappler versus striker. You want to lean the guy with the grappling edge. But that's not with a great degree of confidence, unfortunately. I wouldn't be surprised at a Musasa KO as well. Probably the safer play or the safer way to kind of like look at this fight is I don't think it goes the distance either way. It's either going to be a Thicknesse sub or a Musasa KO.
I think that's the appropriate way to play it.
So give me Colby. I'm leaning Thicknesse with the slickness on the ground.
Hey, yo.
For the win. But,
That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe this is probably just to stay away and, maybe just eat some popcorn and let's figure this one out,
Yeah, I think the way you explained it is perfect. I'm not going to add too much onto it. I think whoever leads the dance is going to win this fight. Musasa has like get up jitsu. Like he just stands up. It's the weirdest thing. But Colby Thicknesse can grapple. And I do think if he gets him in some compromising positions, he can choke him. But Musasa can knock him out. So I think unders, fight doesn't go. If it's a nice number, a plus number, you take it. You jump on it, actually. Because I think that's how this is going to go. They both have distinct edges in certain areas of the game, and both of those areas are exploitable on both guys.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, this is where it's at. But if you're asking me for a lean, I got to lean the dog here. It's dog or pass, thickness, and he's got the grappling edge. He's sitting at almost plus 150, which I think is a little absurd. This fight should be a pick'em, considering Musasa's last performance. So give me that, but not with a high degree of confidence. Violence is the name. You know what it is. Follow us on all social media platforms as usual for the official plays.
Next fight on the card at men's light heavyweight, we have Navajo Stirling going one-on-one with Rodolfo Bellato. Stirling is perfect. 7-0, fighting out of New Zealand, repping New Zealand, 27 years old. Bellato is 12-2-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 29 years old. Now, this one's going to be either very interesting or very boring. I'm going to be leaning Stirling here, but not with the highest degree of confidence. Both guys kind of came into the UFC with a little bit of hype. I think Stirling came in with a little more hype than Bellato did. Stirling's got the kickboxing background, but he's a little low volume. You can tell he hits hard, but he's a little stiff in there. I can't really get a good read on the guy. The guy doesn't scream like superstar to me. He doesn't even scream star to me. On the other end, Bellato, a little bit of a wild man, but he definitely prefers this fight on the ground more than anything else. Crazy, I don't want to say zombie chin, but like if you're going to put him out, you really got to put him out. I don't know how he gets this fight to the ground. I think that's his only way to win here, if he manages to get Stirling to the ground. I don't think he does. I think Navajo keeps this standing and probably knocks him out. I don't know. Tough read. I'm going to be leaning Stirling here, and I guess a safe play would be maybe decision or KO on the Stirling side, but not with a high degree of confidence because Bellato, I mean, he could make it messy. His fights are always all over the place, but Stirling is my official pick for this one.
Listen, this is a guy in Stirling who was like a minus 1,200 or minus 1,000 plus against Tuco Cocos, whatever the hell his name is. Toucan Sam, you know what I'm saying? The Took.
The Took.
You know, so, and then he went to a decision in that fight and got clipped a couple of times. Was a heavy favorite against Evan Urslan, a guy that we said on this podcast is a dog, has way more fight experience than him and was going to give him a run for his money. He won by unanimous decision, but now he's fighting Bellato. I can't get behind this minus 250 line.
It's a little too wide.
I can't. I mean, the dude is still uber green in my opinion. This is not too long after the last fight. There's not a lot of improvements he could have possibly made between camps. Sorry, man, I'm not there. I think this is dog or pass again. And, you know, I'm not going to say with a high degree of confidence that Bellato's going to win this fight for all the points that my brother's made, but I just think Stirling might be a little bit of a fraud. That's just my gut on this. That's just my gut check on this guy. And I'm going to roll my gut here. I'm on Bellato for the lean. Dog or pass, he's sitting at plus 200 on some books, which I think is fucking criminal, especially since he's going to go after it. Like, he's going to get hit, and he's going to try and push his wrestling. And I get it, Navajo's a big, strong guy, but dude, like, that shit's only going to get you so far in this game. So give me Bellato for the lean. Don't know if I'm going to play it, but that's the official lean for me for the podcast sake.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Lookboonmee going one-on-one with Alexia Thainara. Lookboonmee is 10-3 overall. Fighting out of Thailand, repping Thailand, 29 years old. Thainara is 12-1 overall. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. This fight is probably going to be a low-key banger. I'm excited for this one because I'm a fan of both women. I'm going to be completely honest. I think Loma, underrated, very good striker who has been working on her grappling, going against Thainara, who, wild woman on the feet, but very good on the ground. I'm going to be slightly leaning Thainara, though, because as much as Luma's been working on the grappling, and I think if she ends up on top, she can do damage. If she ends up on her back, she has not made any improvements in that game, in that department, in my opinion. And Thainara is a savage woman. Thainara's got big potential, in my opinion. I think it's just a matter of time before she gets this fight to the ground. And like I said, as much as I like Lookboonmee, I think she gets worked here. She gets subbed. Give me Thainara via sub or decision, but I'm leaning a little more towards sub, maybe rounds 2-3.
Yeah, I'm with you on the lean, but I just can't get behind this line. I think there's another dog or pass spot. You got Lookboonmee sitting at a plus 200 on some books. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, Thainara has lost to Bruno Brazil. Lookboonmee whooped Bruno Brazil's ass. Lookboonmee, UFC experience. Lookboonmee, better striker. By far, by the way. Way cleaner than Thainara. And this is a girl in Thainara who pressures and kind of walks into space a little crazy. You know who else did that Lookboonmee beat? Denise Gomes. Does the same shit. I don't know, man. I just can't get behind this line. I think minus 250 is absurd. I'm going to lean Thainara like my brother here, but I think it's sayonara, Thainara on the betting line. To be frank, I just think minus 250.
Get the fuck out of here.
It is a bit wide. I'll agree with you there.
It's a little crazy to me. And don't get me wrong, I think Thainara can probably find the sub here, but Lookboonmee has made improvements. She's not a fish off her back, but she's very good at not allowing herself to get subbed.
And she's the way better striker.
By far.
Yeah.
She's going to be able to pick her shots and angle here. Give me Thainara here for the lean, but I don't be surprised at a possible dog shot on Lookboonmee come closer to fight time.
I don't hate it.
Once again, a plus 250 line.
A little
Get
too
the
wide.
fuck out of here.
Yeah. A little too wide, considering Lookboonmee definitely has the striking advantage here.
Absolutely.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have the big train. Tom Nolan going one-on-one with the cannibal, Charlie Campbell. Nolan is 9-1 overall. Find out Australia, hailing from Australia, 25 years old. Campbell is 9-2 overall. Find out in New York, 30 years old. This fight is another one I'm kind of going back and forth on because I'm not the biggest, I don't want to say I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not really too high on Tom Nolan. I get some of the hype. I don't get all the hype. Charlie Campbell on the other end has been, I think, overperforming in my opinion. But, you know, throwing these guys in here together, I think I'm just going to lean Charlie Campbell. I think Nolan's just got to prove it to me here. I think Campbell's got better finishing instincts. I know Nolan on paper is probably the better finisher, but really hasn't really done it with, you know, authority or that much kind of confidence at the UFC level. Really haven't seen it. Faded the man against Mota. That was easy money. Weird vibes, weird feelings. Nolan wins just based off aura, but this is MMA. Give me Campbell here for the win. I just trust his finishing instincts a little more. But that being said, it probably goes the distance. Weird vibes. I don't know how to really feel about this one, but I think Campbell's going to be the side here for me.
I'm honestly surprised that Charlie Campbell's a dog in this fight. I really am. And I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. This guy in Tom Nolan who fought Alex Reyes. Probably should have stopped him, right? Dude missed about 3-4 years out of the cage. Looked like a shell of his former self. Went to decision with him and got clipped in that fight. Charlie Campbell, on the other hand, barbecue chicken. Alex Reyes. Fights Borishev. Borishev can't wrestle for shit. For me, it almost doesn't count. Like, you're supposed to beat Borishev by just controlling him with the grappling, but it doesn't finish him. Like the last couple of guys that finished Borishev. Beats Victor Martinez. Who? And then gets starched by Mota, which I don't know how Mota was a fucking dog in that fight either. Like, if you watch the footage, it was clear as day Mo was going to knock him the fuck out. And we called it. We go back to that podcast. We made you money.
Payday. Yeah. You want
money, my boys.
And listen, Mota, he's not good at a lot of things, but he's very good at striking.
He's very good at it. And he's gotten better, so the loss has aged well, but he's still not an elite fighter. But we go to the other side here. We have a Charlie Campbell who was whooping Chris Duncan's ass. Whooping his ass. Bad on the Contender Series. And just got meme knockout because he got a little too comfortable in there. Doesn't make this mistake again. Stops Alex Reyes. Goes onto the scene before that, the regional scene. Fucks everyone up there. Then is able to control Trevor Peek and win a pretty clear unanimous decision against him. Doesn't knock Trevor Peek out or stop him because Trevor Peek is all-time durable. For me, there's a tale of two tapes here, which is why I'm surprised Charlie Campbell's the dog here. I don't believe in Tom Nolan. You know when Christian Bale endorsed Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight? I believe in Harvey Dent. I don't believe in Tom Nolan, ladies and gentlemen. He's 6'3". I don't give a fuck. He fights with big man's defense, lifts his chin up. Nick Moda is way shorter than Charlie Campbell and was able to connect on that fucking chin. Give me Charlie Campbell here to stop this bum and to rid us of the disease in the UFC that we call Tom Nolan. Because there's only one Nolan, and it's Christopher Nolan, and this motherfucker don't direct movies. So guess what? Charlie Campbell, ITD. I'm way more confident in my brother than this one. Give me Charlie Campbell to fuck this guy up.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the Celtic Kid Jake Matthews going one-on-one with the Haitian sensation Neil Magny. Matthews, 22-7 overall. Fighting out Australia, repping Australia, 31 years old. Magny is 30-13 overall. Fighting out of Dalton, Illinois, 38 years old.
Biggest favorite on the card, Jake Matthews.
Is he actually the biggest favorite on this card?
Minus 590.
Wow, that is wide. Now, I mean, listen, I am going to be picking Jake Matthews to win here. 390? 590.
Yeah.
590?
That's a crazy number.
That is wide. That is very big for Jake Matthews.
I get it, but can't get behind it.
I mean, listen, I guess do we hypothetically try to figure out how Neil Magny can win this fight? I guess cage push.
And clinch work.
Clinch work. Negate a lot of Jake Matthews' boxing.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It is possible. And Jake has shown wrinklings and, grimaces in terms of like him kind of giving up in there or just not being like alive or having a pulse in certain fights, right?
I mean, but to be fair, he hasn't been doing that lately. I think he's been pretty good lately.
Yeah, but there's history there.
I mean, there is.
PTSD, man.
But I think that's just I think that's a tale of two. That's a
tale of two careers, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about PTSD from my side, from all the times that he should have won when I picked him and he didn't, right? So
I mean, I think Jake Matthews got him into boxing. Definitely got
so.
him into striking. I think leg kicks he's gonna tear up Magny's legs, I think.
I think so too.
On the ground, Magny's very competent in the BJJ, but I think Matthews is also very capable and probably not going to be afraid to go down on the ground with him.
I also think Matthews is probably going to hold top position more times than not in this fight.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm not worried about cardio on both gentlemen. I'm not worried about durability on both gentlemen. I guess Jake Matthews, the better chin. This is Jake Matthews' fight to lose. I mean, if Magny comes in with a game plan where he just cage pushes and just holds him, there's a path there, but I think Jake wins probably by decision. I don't know if he finishes Neil. Neil's a very crafty guy, but give me Jake by decision. That's kind of where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I get what you're saying about him being crafty, but man, the last couple of losses have been finishes. Prates knocked him out. Morales knocked him out.
I mean, those are killers, though.
I hear you. He almost got killed by Mike Malott, and Mike Malott ended up just fading in the third round, but he's a fraud, so that makes sense. And then Zaleski was impressive. We played him there, but Zaleski's also 40 years old.
Yeah.
He's fighting a young dog here. And by the way, it should be 3 finishes because if Ian Gary wanted to stop playing with his food, I think he could have stopped that fight anytime he wanted to.
Yeah.
Granted, Morales, Prates, Ian Machado, those are all the new blood that's coming up in the division, right?
What do you think is more likely, KO or sub? If you had to pick a finish for Jake,
it's a great question. I'm going to say sub. I think Jake has one of the more underrated ground games at this level.
He does. He's very competent on the ground.
He's very competent, and he's big, strong. I think he's gonna get top position a lot of times in this fight. So unless Neil Magny doesn't walk into like a Carlos Prates elbow again, I just feel like he's going to get controlled and or decisioned or subbed here. So give me Jake Matthews. As to my brother's point, by decision or sub. I think that's the official lean for the podcast. We'll see how we get to play it closer to fight time, considering these lines are going to be blown out since he's a minus 590. But I don't know if I can get around to betting Neil here. I think Neil's shot. I think Neil's a gatekeeper. I think his career is pretty close to the end. So give me Jake Matthews here by decision or sub.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have Jack Jenkins going one-on-one with Ramon Tavares. Jenkins is 13-4 overall, fighting out of Australia, repping Australia, 31 years old. Tavares is 10-3 overall, fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, 31 years old. I'm kind of looking forward to this one just a little bit.
Great fight.
I like Tavares. I like Jenkins. I mean, both guys, I've heard arguments where, both guys might be a little overrated when it comes to their striking. Some guys say that they're both a little underrated when it comes to their striking. I'm a little bit in the middle with both guys. I'm going to be leaning Jenkins here, though, simply because, as much as I like Tavares, I love his boxing. I love his body work. I like that. I think he has an underrated get-up game. He doesn't really go to the grappling as much as I would like. Jenkins does utilize a little more tools when it comes to the striking. He does use a lot of leg kicks. I think there's going to be an issue for Tavares. Jenkins also more likely to mix in the grappling. He has been grappling more as of recent as well. For that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to be leaning Jenkins. It's going to be a close technical fight either way, but I think Jenkins at home with more tools probably should get this one done. If you had to ask me whether this goes the distance or not, I'm on the fence. I think I'm leaning more decision than anything else. So give me Jenkins by decision. That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, this is a clear Jenkins play. He's sitting at minus 330. I think he's sitting at minus 330 for a reason. This is a guy who has one way to lose: submission. He's lost all of his fights by submission. Armbar, rear naked choke, verbal tap from arm injury, which is, I believe, from a slam, if I'm correct. I can't remember specifically, but I know there was a wrestling, I don't recall, or grappling situation there, if I recall correctly. Please forgive me if I misquoted that, but I believe that's what it was. Then Gabriel Santos, which, by the way, who made money on that fight? Who told you about that shit?
Yeah.
Rear naked choke by Gabe Santos. Now, credit. He lost to Chepe and Gabe Santos at this level. Both those guys are going to push the wrestling, but Gabe is more of the mixture, but Gabe is an elite level fighter. He should be top 15 by every metric. He's just not ranked. There's a guy, Ramon Tavares, hasn't fought really anyone at this level. Beat City the second time he fought him, lost to Davey Grant pretty decisively. Also leans on his front foot a lot because he's a heavy boxer. This is a guy in Jack Jenkins, and I cannot emphasize this enough, great leg kicker, and gets his game going when he's leg kicking. You give him that conventional boxing stance, he's going to fucking tear that front leg up. He just is. This is going to be an easy, I think, Jack Jenkins probably stoppage. I think he can stop him with leg kicks. Tavares, I'm not saying he don't belong at this level. I think he's 42, so we're going to ride for our homie.
I mean, also, Tavares has got some sub wins. I think he's capable of grappling, but he's got to do something here that we just haven't seen him really do successfully at the UFC level, and that's grapple. I mean,
particularly wrestle.
Don't know the extent of it, but
right. I mean, I think that's the one way you play Tavares. I think you play his ITD sub at value, right? If you want to get to that side, I can't get there. I can't. I think Jack Jenkins is going to tear his leg up. I think Tavares is going to walk forward, eat a lot of damage. Jenkins has improved his takedown defense. He's going to be using the cage to get up. He's at home here. I expect him to probably stop him with leg kicks. And the dude has good leg kicks. He has gotten stoppages with the leg kick before. And this is a guy who's going to leave his front leg forward for the whole fight. So give me Jack Jenkins here by TKO. If it goes to this decision, I'm not going to be surprised. But I'm going to go and put my nuts on the table and say he's going to get it done via knockout, via leg kicks. Give me Jack Jenkins here for the lead, ladies and gentlemen.
Next fight on the card at men's heavyweight, we have Louis Sutherland, the Vanilla Gorilla, going one-on-one with the bad man, Justin Tafa. Sutherland, 10-3 overall, fighting out of Scotland, rep in England, 31 years old. Tafa, 7-5 overall, fighting out of Australia, rep in Australia, 31 years old. Two big old heavyweights here. I'm curious to see what the weigh-ins look like, but this is going to be a tale of big old men bumping meat. Yeah. Big beefy men just bumping them. The meat. Ayo. Listen, I think I want to slightly lean Sutherland only because I've seen the guy on tape go to the grappling, go to wrestling, and that's probably the way you want to beat Tafa here. I think Tafa is probably the better striker here. He's gonna have the quicker hands. If I'm being honest, he's probably got the better chin. He's got the UFC experience. I'm back and forth on it because I don't know, man. It's not the highest degree of heavyweight action. It's probably going to be fun because these guys are going to be swanging and banging, but slight lean on Sutherland only because I've seen him go to the grappling, and I think that's the way you beat Tafa, but you reach, I teach. I wouldn't be surprised if Tafa sleeps him either. Sutherland making his debut. This one's probably going to be a doozy. I actually don't know how I'm going to play this one. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it, if I'm being completely honest, but yeah, Sutherland, slight lean. That's all I got for this one.
Yeah, and I'm going to be on the other side with this, and I'm going to lean Justin. Just because he has the UFC experience, I think he has the power edge here. Sutherland's not a one-punch pony. Justin can lamp you with one shot and put you away. He's done it to big men. So
He's got that get up jitsu too.
Yeah, against the cage. And Louis doesn't push the wrestling as much as I like him to. If he was like a guy that I could trust to spam the wrestling, okay, but he likes to fuck around the feet. And I think he's going to fuck around and find out in this fight. So
yeah, I'm just curious at what they look at weigh-ins, because Sutherland looks all of like 265.
he looks like a man, bro. He looks like all man.
That man is a barrel-chested figure.
Yeah.
And Tafa, I think in his last fight didn't look, I don't know how much he weighed, but he looked good in there. Like, but not really 265 heavy. So if Sutherland for some reason is able to get on top of him, I think Tafa might have a hard time trying to get up, even with his get up jitsu, just because of the mass. Like, Sutherland's just a boulder of a man.
Yeah, I tell you what, though. I know he fought Taliesin Teixeira, but Talison's big, tall, lanky.
Oh, yeah, no.
Pushes the clinch, does a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
Carl Williams wrestled him to a decision, no shame in that. And I will say, I think Justin does walk around close to the 255, 265 limit. It's because his legs are so big. So, but when you have big legs like that, it's harder to take a guy down because their center of gravity is just absurd. Thing is, at the elite level, and like once he gets to that mid tier, those guys who understand wrestling and positions are stronger and can get angles on him will abuse him with the wrestling. I'm not confident Sutherland's gonna be the guy.
You're talking me onto Justin a little bit here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm easily persuaded. I'll give it.
And I saw what you saw, but I think you saw what I saw too.
Yeah.
Louis doesn't push it as much as you like him to. He does, but he's not gonna sell out for it. If I trusted him to sell out for it, if Justin's back touches the mat, nowhere close to the cage, he's not gonna get up.
Yeah, he's in no man's land.
He's in no man's land.
Yeah,
he's Tom Hanks and Castaway on the boat before he loses Wilson, right? So for me, I just think that UFC experience. I think Top has got the touch of death. How is put it this way? How is Louis Sutherland any different than Parker Porter? It's crazy, right? I don't want to sound crazy saying that,
I gotta
but
think about that one.
it's a good analysis.
I feel like he's better than Parker, but
I think
maybe not. I don't know.
Parker sells out for the wrestling more,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And he reps and Tapa taught. You know what I'm saying? You reach, I teach.
Sutherland might have a better chin. I don't know. You might be right.
He's
Who
never
knows?
been hit. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's never been hit by someone that hits like this.
I got to think about that one. You're right.
So for me,
Tafa's a bad man.
he's a bad man. He
Bad
is.
man.
And like for me, if the line's disrespectful on Justin, I'm gonna play him. I think it's a dog or pass either way, to be frank with you, because a lot of variables with the wrestling and this and that, but I'm going to lean the guy with the UFC experience and the guy that I've seen competently work on his wrestling and get back up to his feet, especially since he's going to be fighting off his back foot probably in this fight. So give me Tafa by knockout here.
Next fight on the card, and that's currently constituted the co-main event of the evening at light heavyweight, we have Jimmy the Brute Crute going one-on-one with Ivan Arslan. Crute, 13-4-2 overall, fight out of Australia, repping Australia, 29 years old. Arslan is 14-5 overall. Fight out of Croatia, repping Croatia, 33 years old. This fight got me up in the air because on paper, it's Jimmy Crute. Clear grappling advantage. Nothing against Ivan here, but he got taken down by Navajo, who is a
Striker.
big kickboxer by nature he has no business taking down anybody. Got taken down by that man. Jimmy Crute is a way better grappler than Navajo. What gives me pause on the Jimmy Crute side is, it's Jimmy Crute. The guy retired. He came back. I don't know what his will to win is. Like, I don't know if he's got that dog in him, if he's got that heart. I don't want to say he looks for the door, but sometimes it just looks like he, if shit ain't going his way, he looks for the door. And Arslan's a striker. Arslan hits hard. Don't fuck around. He's the better striker. He will put him out. I'm going to be leaning Crute here. I'm going to be picking Crute here. But that is with very low confidence. Arslan can't put him out. This is a very interesting, in the least interesting way, of a co-main event. That's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it or not, I think just based on the line, I'm on the other side here, man. I can't get behind Arslan being a plus 150, plus 160 in some of these books. Jimmy Crute should not be a minus 200 at this level, especially against a guy who's not going to go away. There's a guy in Erslan who went to a split decision with Kudalaba, who is a better wrestler than Crute, in my opinion. At least decorated.
Yes.
And Kudalaba doesn't go away and fade when things are not going his way. He's a warrior through and through, second, third round. This is a guy in Crute that I'm talking you up again.
No, you might
I'm
be
fucking your world up right now.
You might be talking me off for this one too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have no confidence in Crute.
No.
All I know is that grappler over striker on paper, he clearly has the edge, but it's like, it's just the guy himself. I don't trust Jimmy himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I get it. You know, I completely get it. And guess what? Me either. I just think that Jimmy Crute is a guy that, like to your point, I think if things do not go his way, just like the gentleman in the beginning of the card, Isla, I believe his name was, I can't remember, but he's a very good hammer. He is not a very good nail.
Oh, Ellison.
When he is not getting his way, man, he looks for la puerta. And if you guys don't know what that is, that means the door in Spanish, bro. I just don't trust Crute to like put any fear into this man's heart. I really don't. Erslan's gonna be there for all 3 rounds. He's gonna throw bombs. Crute turns his brain off after round 1. Sometimes he doesn't even go back to the wrestling. Just think about it that way. So if you had to bet this guy to win in round 1, I could understand the play. But if you're picking him throughout the course of this fight, when he has historically not gone back to his wrestling, even though it effectively worked in the first round, because he gets discouraged because he doesn't get him out of there.
Yeah, the guy's an enigma.
And put it this way, the fact that Navajo, a striker, had to go to the wrestling against Erslan should tell you everything you need to know. And I think he got Erslan down as a product of surprise, to be frank with you.
Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting the shot, yeah.
Erslan is not terrible. He's not great, but he ain't terrible with the wrestling. I'm not saying he's gonna, stuff all of Jimmy Crute's shots in the first round. I think Crute does probably get his way. I think a live entry spot on Erslan is viable here. Because after the first round, all bets are off. You are Chaz Parliamentary at the horse derby, ripping his ticket up because the mush bet on kryptonite. That's what you are after round kryptonite. 2. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't mean to be terrible on Crute. Dude, he is uber talented. It's just, dude, it
literally boils down to the mentality. It's the mental when it comes to Crute. Like, does he have the heart? Is he in it? Is he locked in? Like, the decision making, it's all that when it comes to Jimmy Crute.
And he should be, because he's on home soil for this one.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like they're trying to give him a win here.
They're trying their best.
I mean, they're giving him a guy who can't defend a takedown. So it's like...
Yeah, they're giving him a fucking dog here, though. This guy is a dog. Like, and he impressed me because he went 5 rounds in his championship fight in the KSW promotion. And I think very highly of the guys that come out of KSW. They got some good fighters there. So for me, he got wrestled in that fight, was able to survive. I think he's going to be able to survive against Crute. I think he finds his way back up to his feet around second, third round. And I think he might have his way here. I think this fight gets dragged out, and I think Erslan finds his way to victory here. Probably stops him second, third round. Give me Erslan here. Second, third round stoppage.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the last fight on the card, the main event of the evening. At light heavyweight, we have Carlos Ulberg, a.k.a. the Black Jag, going one-on-one with the Devastator, Dominick Reyes. Ulberg, 12-1 overall. Fighting out of New Zealand, repping New Zealand, 34 years old. Reyes, 15-4 overall. Fighting out of Cali, repping Cali, 35 years old. This is a very interesting fight. 5-round main event. Probably going to determine who gets the next shot at the light heavyweight title. This one is kind of tough because we got Dominick here on one end who, really has only lost to the who's who, the division. But lately, even though he's on a 3-fight winning streak, right?
3.
Against guys who may be considered over the hill, right? On the other end, we got Ulberg here, up and coming. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson prototype in the face ass. Looking good, fighting good. Defensively responsible. Probably the more technical striker here. Didn't really like his last performance too much against John Blachowicz because he was kind of on his back foot a lot in that fight. Dominick Reyes is going to be walking forward on him. It's going to be more of the same for Ulberg. I guess the only difference here is that I'm going to have to lean the more technical striker here. I am going to be picking Ulberg. 5 rounds. Reyes has really got to mix it up and hopefully not get caught. Ulberg is defensively responsible when it comes to striking. Reyes, talented, but I mean, this is the first time he's fighting a young buck in a while, and I don't know. I think this is going to be Ulberg's fight. I think he's going to use leg kicks, manage the distance well, and catch Reyes coming in eventually. Do I see a decision? Maybe, but I'll be leaning Ulberg probably by KO only because, again, Reyes is going to be walking him down, trying to take him to hell, and he might just get caught in the crossfire. So Ulberg is going to be the side here for me. I'll lean mid to late round stoppage. That's what I got. What about you?
Yeah, I'm on the same side here. I just can't get behind this line again. Ulberg sitting at a minus 250 on some books. I think
it's not the most egregious line, but I mean, I'm on your side here when it comes to, like, I think this fight is a little closer.
And Reyes has the clear grappling upside, by the way. No one's talking about that. And how do I know that? Because this guy was able to grapple and control Jiri for certain parts of his fight. Has good takedown defense. I don't expect Ulberg to wrestle into him. Be very surprised if he did.
I don't think he will.
John Jones couldn't take him down.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there. I'm going to lean Ulberg just because I feel he's a little too shop-worn. The Dustin Jacoby fight gives me a little room for pause because Jacoby fights a lot like Ulberg, very off his back foot, very calculated, makes good decisions, and he was able to stop him. But this is a younger buck. I think Ulberg's got a little more durability, even though he has been knocked out and he got knocked out by Kennedy and Jackwood, which
that's not a good look.
Has not aged well. But he's done what he's supposed to do against other guys. And Volkan Ozdemir, historically durable. John Blachowicz, historically durable. Then to the rest of the guys, right? The Alonzo Menafields of the world. Actually, Alonzo is kind of durable. I got to give him a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
He stopped him in the first round. Stopped Da Woong Jung. Stopped Pretoria.
Well, yeah.
Makes sense.
Pretoria.
So for me, he's done what he's supposed to do at this level. I'm going to lean Carlos Ulberg by knockout. I think he gets it done. It's a 5-round fight. The unders, fight doesn't go. If they're a nice number, you play them. I'm assuming they're going to be minus money. So you're probably going to have to pick a side here. I think it's Ulberg by knockout. I think he finds his chin. And if he doesn't find his chin with a one shot, I expect the accumulation of damage from the leg kicks and the punches, to my brother's point, to pick up on Dom. If Dom doesn't catch him coming in, I feel like he's going to have a hard time landing his shot in this fight. And all those guys prior, outside of Jacoby, walked into his shit. So for me, I don't love the line, but I'm going to try and be a little more understanding of it here relative to the rest of the fights. I think he should be a minus 190, 200. I get why the 250 is there, just because of Dom's historically bad chin and other factors, right? So give me Ulberg here by knockout. I think I'll leave it at that. Follow us on social media platforms to see how we're going to play it.
And that does it for this episode. Our combat coverage is in the books. 115 is in the books. My brother, without further ado, take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. Thank you for tuning in to episode 115. Tune in next week to episode 116. I think it's a better fight card than this one. This one, little skeptical besides Charlie Campbell for me, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
On how we're going to play it. We might stay off a lot of this shit because very high variance card in my opinion. But as we get close to the fight time, follow us on all social media platforms. We'll lay out our bets. We do it every week. It's documented. You can see it. But until then, love you guys. Keep the comments coming. Keep the subs coming. We see them. We see you. Engage with us. Let us know what you think. Holla at you. Later. Peace.